welcome to our show, She Talks. I'm your host, Fatma Al-Awadi, and I have here my colleague, Amal Al-Mulla. Hi, Amal, how are you?
Hello, Fatma, and thank you for the introduction, and hello everyone who joined us in She Talks. Today, we've got special guests as well as some wonderful, let's say, reports as well as segments. So how about you join us in She Talks to learn all about what she needs.
Welcome back, dear viewers, to She Talks. Amal, what do you think of happiness?
Well, Fatma, the pursuit of happiness has been going on since ages. And dear viewers, whoever asks a beauty queen, what is your goal? She would be happiness. That's the answer that she would always give us. So happiness depends on a person's, let's say, set of mind or mood, Fatma. So what is the best thing that makes you happy?
Okay, so the best thing, let's say I have multiple things, but let's say my mom's laugh when she laughs, and then electric guitars and coffee.
Whoa.
Okay. I know they're so random, right?
Yes, but I love them so much. The laughter of a mother or a child, that is wonderful. A big smile whenever you walk here or there and you see someone smiling, just contagiously, you smile back to them. And electric guitars. Well, I'm not sure about that because I'm a classic mood lady, if I can say so. So a piano or a jazz, a saxophone, that would make me happy. And yes, we join in coffee.
Yes.
That aroma, the flavor of it, the sound when it's poured in that wonderful ceramic cup.
Right.
It always makes me happy and a great smile. I always have a grin upon my face when I smell that wonderful aroma of coffee.
Right. So what's your favorite type of coffee? For me, it's cappuccino. What about you?
Well, no, I'd like to have the espresso, double shot, and just a hint of water in it. I don't like it to be so thick. It's not Americano, it's not cortado, it's not anything else, but it's that wonderful espresso with a pinch of water.
Right. So do you think that the negative side of coffee would affect your choice, or is it always in the morning? Because sometimes I'd feel like in the afternoon, I would like to have a cup of cappuccino. And I know it's not the rule, right? The rule is before noon, before 12 o'clock.
Exactly.
But sometimes I just crave, coffee in the afternoon. And to me, it doesn't matter if it affects my sleeping pattern or not. What do you think?
Well, for me as well, Fatma, my sleeping pattern is not affected at all by caffeine because I'm addicted to caffeine. I like at 5 o'clock to have a cup of tea, not coffee. But,
right.
But
tea is my forte. Tea is, yes.
It's 5 o'clock, that's the thing. But coffee in the morning, the smell of it, the aroma makes my mood, makes me like tick to go to the next level. And you know something, Fatma? A lot of people really go that extra mile to go to a cafe nearby.
Right.
What really ticks the mood is the kind of beans that you roast. Sometimes I'd like to roast it at home, especially with that wonderful, coffee corners that everybody nowadays has. Do you have a coffee corner, by the way?
Yes, it's true. The coffee corners are becoming popular. And may I just add that when I was 17 or 18 years old, I worked as a barista at one of the famous cafes.
Wow.
Yeah, and we were making maybe 12 drinks in a minute and a half. You have to have a stopwatch, and they have to time you.
Okay.
So they can say that, okay, Amal is now a fully knowledgeable barista, and she knows how to make the drinks, the coffee drinks and all of that.
Yeah.
And it had this effect on me that I don't like to go to any coffee shop and drink coffee. I have to know what's inside the coffee. That's one of the side effects of working as a barista, actually.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Well, I would relate to that, Fatma, because I know that if you knew exactly how it's made, you wouldn't be liking anyone makes it for you, and you would always say, no, I would do that by this way or the other way. Yes,
and you have the recipe and you have your own kind of recipes too. So let's talk more about the coffee corner. You were talking about the coffee corner. Do you have one at home?
Yes, I have a fully black and red coffee corner because
Wow.
yes, I like that mood of black and red coffee corner, and I have in like on that table around, let's say 5 or 6 machines,
Wow.
different machines.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're making me feel like, okay, do I need these 6 machines? No.
This is the problem. Like, we don't need all those machines nowadays, but sometimes you see, you would like to have that such kind. If we say Turkish coffee,
Okay.
that would be a different kind of machine than the espresso machine.
Right.
Or if you want that cortado machine, it would be different than the espresso because you cannot mix it together.
Right.
And sometimes the Arabic coffee, that aroma of cardamom in it with a little bit of saffrons.
I love
It has
cardamom
a
in
special
it.
also, if you don't have the top oven, you have to have a machine.
It's true. It's true. For me, my machine is only one.
Okay.
And it has multiple drinks, right? And it's one of those machines that you see in the airport lounges.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and you can actually tap on your iPad or your iPhone and choose whatever, intensity that you
Yeah.
want and how it brews. And then you just click, and while you're getting ready for your morning, your coffee is being brewed, and you
Wow.
actually it grinds the beans and all of that. And then you just go to your kitchen and you have your coffee. So for me, it's all about being practical.
This is the barista
yes,
talking.
Exactly.
This is the barista talking
Yes.
here now. So Fatma, I think that a long time ago I have heard about a woman who was like looking after her children, and she noticed that the budget that she had inside her home had fully been deducted by the amount of coffee drinks the family has from outside, the cafes outside. So she decided to have a cafe inside her home. Just imagine that.
That's amazing.
And
that would save a lot of money.
Not just
Yeah.
to save a lot of money. She said it started to have her children around in home and their friends to come back. And from that, it started to have a gathering. And speaking about gathering, I know that the trend nowadays is whenever you have a gathering, you have a little bit of coffee station.
Really?
Yes.
Tell
you
me
see.
about it.
This is really wonderful because I have seen a lot of the ladies, Kuwaiti ladies,
Yeah.
have them sometimes inside their homes, and sometimes they do as a business eyes.
Right.
So when they do those businesses, whenever you do a gathering, they bring those stations and you have everybody drinking from those 2 wonderful ladies, baristas ladies.
But that's an amazing idea.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I know it's a little costly, I have to admit,
Yeah.
but speaking of the gatherings in Kuwait, we love having gatherings and we love showing off what we can create
Exactly.
and the creativity that comes in the gatherings, right? I mean, you could tell by Ramadan, the season of Ramadan, of course.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
As you said, it's seasons. So I think we've got a lot to discuss. Coffee is happiness. Happiness is also related to so much things. Aroma, a smell, a voice, as Fatma said, or sometimes just a tiny touch. That is all about happiness.
Right. So dear viewers, we still have some more to talk about. Let's take a break. Stay tuned after this.
Happiness. Sometimes it comes in so many arts, shapes, or smells. At the beginning of today's show, we were talking about how can we achieve happiness? Achievement as well is going to that goal and having a great satisfactory that comes into your mind. Today with us is an artist who made her passion as a goal and she pursued it. Dana Al-Rashid will talk to us all about that passion that made her happy. Hello Dana and welcome to She's Talks.
Hello, great to be here.
It is wonderful to have you. Fatma,
Yes.
I think the passion of art, this is what's Dana all about.
Yes, Dana, we want to talk and we want our dear viewers to know about your passion in art. But first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Dana Rashid. I'm an architect professionally. That's what I do for as a day job. So I specialize in historic building preservation, but I also happen to paint professionally as well.
Wow. So
Yeah.
tell us about the paintings.
Yeah. So when I say I paint professionally, it means that I also have managed to monetize my work. I managed to publish my work, and thankfully my art has taken me to wonderful places. The art form that I have created personally, I have coined a term for it called modern miniatures. And this particular style is inspired by ancient Persian miniatures. However, with a modern twist. So I use modern tools, modern techniques, and most importantly, I often tackle relevant topics that everyone can understand, everyone can relate to.
That's so wonderful and
Yes.
interesting. Dana, when did you first knew that passion inside you, the art passion? As an architect, I know that you said in historical buildings, but the art of it, when did you first knew that you have that passion for it?
I happen to be extremely lucky that I have found out my passion very early on in my life. So ever since I could remember, ever since I was a tiny kid, I've always had my sketchbook with me. I've always sketched and painted, and the habit continued on and on. But I think what gives me kind of more leverage on your average artist, if I may say, is that I also happen to be well-read. So my parents have often encouraged me. Both parents are educators, and they have encouraged me a lot to read.
That's beautiful. Actually,
It
that's
is.
something to be proud of.
Yeah.
And we encourage everyone, parents and even employees, to start reading, and it will increase your knowledge about your passion too. Now, Dana, if you could tell me, now I know in English miniature means smaller, on a smaller scale.
Correct.
So is that a smaller scope as in art miniature, or how do you define it? Why is it called miniature?
So classically, miniature art was smaller scale, and it used to be done with the finest of brushes till this day, actually. So even people who are practicing miniature art, or as they call it in other cultures, they call it miniature. They use the smallest brushes and opaque watercolors with gold leafing, and it used to be called art of the book because it used to illustrate books. So
Right.
it illustrates metaphysical books, scientific books, books that were often commissioned by the higher emperors or sultans of that era. And it was often the art of the book within books. There are rare and very few murals in that style. And that actually created more freedom. It allowed more freedom for the artists to discuss more and illustrate more topics.
Interesting. So what I understand here is that if you want to paint someone that's a portrait, that's different, a different style. But if you want to, maybe explain something in a book for someone, while you're writing the book, you bring an artist and then you draw this miniature art in the book, right?
Well, in case you were wondering about the lack of perspective in
Yes.
the miniature art, it often has a flat perspective.
It is.
It's
It
very
does.
2D, and one of the reasons is because it was practiced by Muslim artists,
Yes.
and it was to avoid being figurative.
Okay.
So the strokes were very similar to calligraphic strokes.
Right.
However,
right. That's-
as the Renaissance appeared, and as more trade and relationships and networks happened between Europe and the Middle East, Arabia, and beyond, we have been taking more and more figurative approach, and more, as you can see in the later higher era of the miniature art, you can see more perspective, you can see more dimension and mass.
Interesting. So
It
it was further away. Now, the more modern we go, the further we go away from the 2D perspective.
Yeah, figurines. I think it gets like the 3D, right?
Well, not necessarily, because there
Okay.
are people who are still within the traditional school of the
Okay.
miniature art,
Interesting.
still practicing to this day with the flat perspective.
Mhm.
I like to think I'm one of them. However, the more classically trained ones, I am self-taught.
Mhm.
The more classically trained ones, technique-wise, are excellent. However, they only do replicas or of ancient works, or they do very specific subjects. What makes my work different is that I tackle contemporary and relevant topics.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
This takes me to a question you answered half of it. You said I'm self-taught, Diana. But that miniature art, those small little strokes, the things that you said you were reading a lot with your parents, didn't have courses? Didn't you try to make more studying or like learning more about it? And how did you do that? Did you have courses online or something like that?
Well, having a background in architecture school means that we studied tons and tons of art theory classes,
Okay.
color theory classes, art history. And after I studied architecture school, I actually got a scholarship in Cartoon Network Animation Studios.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We have
That-
to learn something about
I know,
that.
right?
And this also gave me more of a background on art theory, colors, animation, and all of these things. So picking up a different style or a new style with the miniature art wasn't that big of a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do agree with you. I would like to at some point take professional classes, particularly in miniature art.
Well, we are happy that you also told us something about that scholarship. Tell us, how did you get it, and what did you do during that scholarship in Cartoon Network? Everybody loves Cartoon Network, by the way.
Yes.
Well, it was really like a Cinderella story. It was a dream come true. I was on my last semester of university, and I was browsing through this art website.
Okay.
It was similar to a social media website, but for artists.
Mm-hmm.
That was way back before social media was popular,
Yes.
and people were simply just posting selfies. People were trying to post artwork
Yes.
that has merit back then.
Yes.
And so I was browsing, updating my portfolio, uploading my artwork, and then I saw this teeny tiny advertisement.
Okay.
Join now, we are offering scholarships.
Wow.
And I clicked on that. That's all it took.
Just a
That's
click.
amazing.
That's seriously all it took. So I clicked on that, I applied, and Cartoon Network Studios had a headquarters in Abu Dhabi,
Yes.
and they were trying to create an animation industry in the region. And this is how I got in.
That's
Wonderful.
interesting.
That's
yes.
really, yeah.
Now, Amal, I'm thinking of getting into the miniature art. So let's say I'm a beginner,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
How long will it take me to learn that? Or what is my stroke persona, let's say?
Yes.
It really can help you if you have a background in art.
Okay.
If you are a complete novice, it would be extremely challenging, because what makes miniature art special is that it takes a lot of patience. There's a
Okay.
lot of patience required. There's a lot of attention to details. There are specific courses that you may take. There's actually a school of traditional arts in the UK,
Okay.
among others. I personally prefer learning from the source.
Interesting.
Yes. So you may take these courses, but definitely, most definitely, having a background in art would be.
I don't
handy.
have any background in art, and I'm
Yes.
not very patient. So let's see what Emma thinks of that.
Well,
Would you like to become a beginner?
I don't think that I have that much patience as you, Fatma, but trying to have something of an art. Our topic at the beginning of this episode, it was about happiness,
Yes.
Diana. So if I wanted to take that little quiet time for myself, to move away from the world, for the hustle and bustle that we all really go through, do art really takes me to that next level of happiness, or let's say satisfaction?
I think you need to get into the state of flow in order for that to happen. Many people stop painting, stop doing art because they feel a sense of frustration. There's a lack of confidence that, hey, I'm not, my skills are not up to par. And therefore it creates more frustration than the flow state.
That's where the element of patience needs to be implemented.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'd like to add that the artworks that I do are tackling really pressing issues here. So I talk about body image, which is, I think, a really urgent topic in Kuwait, especially when it comes to women. So I have recently, last April, in Promenade Culture Center in Kuwait, they have been extremely generous, and they have given me a wonderful residency program and the ability to display my work with my fellow colleague Al-Hamd. And he is a wonderful experimental artist. And so this is one of the topics I tackle: body image, identity. I talk about the accelerating rate in which our life is being digitized.
Yes, we need to talk more about that. Actually, how do you choose your topics in your paintings, and how do you think this would work and I will display this?
So I have a background in journalism as well. I have been writing in a jarida newspaper for like a good 6-7 years. I'm not active right now, but I do have a very curious mind, and I like to talk and illustrate topics that mean something to people, that there's a sense of urgency.
This is really great, about talking about the sense of urgency, talking about the passion, the things that we want to do. I think, dear viewers, this is where you come to have that flow, your point of view, where to go, when to go, and how to do it. Thank you very much, Dana, for giving us a glimpse of that wonderful art that you live in, and thanks for joining us in She Talks.
Thank you very much for hosting me.
Thank you very much, Dana, and we will see you soon, hopefully on another interview for more paintings, right?
Yes, indeed.
Dear viewers, we will be right back after this short break, so stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers. Now we have our favorite segment. We have here with us our co-host, Ayat Lablushi. Hello, Ayat, how are you?
Hi, Fatma, I'm good. How about you?
Good, thank you. We're very excited that you're here with us today.
Yeah, I'm too.
It's wonderful to have you with us, Ms. Ayat. And I know that we were talking since the beginning of this episode about happiness, how to be happy. And as it is the beginning, let's say it's not just the beginning of October, we started studying since the mid of September. But getting back to school has a lot of stress in parents as well as students. And Ms. Ayat, as you are all knowledgeable about teaching and about the school life, we need to have a comfortable time for our own and for our children as well, for the students. How to reach that goal, how to be comfortable, happy, beside the stress that school works all put upon us.
Okay, well, this time is very stressful for mothers. So we cannot get away, like avoid stress completely, but we can reduce it. Now, how can we do that? I always advise women to, prepare planners to plan. So the number one rule is to have a planner and to plan a day ahead. I mean, don't stress yourself in the morning, running late, and so you have to do it like a day before, checking, the kids' uniforms, their bags, and it's a good thing to ask your children to help you with that, because you're teaching them two things: they're taking responsibilities, and also they're helping you. So it's not only on you. So and then they can reduce the stress in that way. They can check their bag, their belongings, everything is there. And then they can also help you with preparing their lunch boxes. And I know everyone now is stressed about that, like how to have a very fancy lunch box and meal.
And so about. This is me and Fatma. We're talking about the lunch boxes and how you can cut those, cucumbers into heart shapes or a little bit of
I don't do that.
carrots.
I mean,
into
why-
yes, it's so
Why
much.
would we want to do that to our,
Some
extra
kids are
time in
picky.
cutting,
Yeah,
right?
some kids are picky. So
Okay.
when they want to eat, they have to, have the like a fancy look.
Yes.
But-
Can we teach them not to be picky? I don't know. I don't have kids. Can we teach them about that? Not to be picky?
I have kids.
Well,
I am
Please
I'm-
tell us about your.
I'm the picky one.
Yes. Oh, okay.
No, for my kids, what I do is that I eat in front of them.
Okay.
So they see what I'm eating,
Okay.
and then they're like, I don't tell them, hey, come eat this. I just eat, in front of them. And they're like, Mom, can we eat with you? I say, okay, yeah, you're welcome. And
that's
I'll be
great.
happy by doing
Oh,
that.
that's what my sisters do with
Yeah.
their, my
Okay.
nephews and nieces. They're a little picky, but my mom always says, children are not what you tell them to do, it's what you do, and they
Exactly.
mimic your action.
Because
right?
it's a way of learning,
Right.
kids learn by imitating, they copy you.
Exactly.
So if you tell them, eat vegetables, eat that, they won't do that.
Right.
They will hate it.
So-
But if you just eat in front of them, and vegetables are colorful,
Yes.
so it will
Yes.
attract them.
Right.
They will ask you, okay, why do I have to eat carrot? You like bunnies? Bunnies eat carrot. Oh, you love the color orange? Yeah, I love that. And then they will eat that and
Right. Check
do
out
that
my
move.
snack of broccoli and carrot.
Yeah.
Let me have all of this for
Broccoli
myself.
and
Yes.
carrot.
Yeah.
Fun,
Imagine,
Imagine
right?
broccoli and carrots, taking it to school.
But yes,
I think
it's
it's
necessary.
But
It's
I
necessary that
can
we have-
relate to
yes.
that. I can relate to because we want our children to have the best. We want them to eat the best for themselves.
Right.
And as you said, getting back to the beginning, the planning. I love planning.
Yes, me too.
I have planners everywhere. I plan like 6 weeks ahead.
Mashallah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
I
especially
could
while
never
you
do
teach
that.
me on that.
Yes,
Mashallah.
this is what I do most of the time because I like to have those 6 weeks plans and I can really adjust to it by that time. But giving the chance also for children to help me arrange their thing. This is the thing that I want you to elaborate a little bit, Ms. Ayat. Nowadays, a lot of us try to make it because, let me do it instead of you. You will take too long. You have a lot of things, and we take responsibility for everything. Not just with our kids, even for us. We don't delegate. We don't give others to do stuff. We try to finish it, and that really
Creates stress.
Accumulates
Yes,
stress.
yes, and it
upon
creates
us.
stress.
So what you can do is that, going back to the lunch boxes, you can find online planners for lunch boxes, and they are designed according to the lunchbox that your kids have, like 3 compartments, 4
Okay.
compartments, and so you print them out, and then you tell your kid, okay, what do you want to eat on Sunday? And then they will help you to do that, because you don't want to surprise them when they're at school and
Yes.
they open a lunchbox with something that they don't like.
Surprise.
Right, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So- Yeah, this will
really-
take the burden off you, because they're planning whatever they want to eat, and you can relax at this time. Just
Right.
tell them, you can give them options. We have, for example, turkey, you have cheese, you have all these options, and choose whatever you want for the whole week.
Right.
So this will make it very, less stressful for mothers, and it will make kids happy because they are doing something. They
Yes.
are
I agree.
accomplishing something.
I agree. Now,
Yes.
what about if the kid goes to school with the healthy lunchbox, and then next to them sits someone who doesn't have a very healthy lunchbox, let's say, and they have these, snacks that
Yes.
are potato chips or chocolate, right, and chocolate milk? Wouldn't that affect the kid themselves? They would come to their mom
Yeah.
and say, I want what they have,
The
because I
comparison,
know,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
they do compare a lot.
Yeah.
They do.
Well,
That's
there are
what
some
it is.
schools who ban such stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
and some schools don't. But what I do to my kids is that, okay, they sow chocolate milk with someone,
Right.
and I tell them, okay, I get them the healthier version, and only once a week, not every day. So it's not a habit. It's just
Okay.
they did something good. Okay, you deserve that.
Right.
So it's like a reward.
So is it as a reward?
Yeah.
I don't. I can't really. I have a conflict about that.
Okay, yeah, tell us about it.
Why do we reward our kids with something is not good for themselves?
But I'm saying, I use
It's what they
healthier version.
want, right? Isn't it what they want?
Because they want it, but it's not healthy. Like giving them chocolate as a reward.
No, for me, I said I use healthier versions.
Options.
Yeah,
Okay.
healthier options. But some people, they don't do that. And you're right, it's not good to say to your kids, I will reward you with a candy.
Yes.
That's bad, because, and then later you tell them, don't eat candy. You're conflicting
Yeah,
yourself.
this is the confliction
Yeah.
that I have, because whenever I want to give them a reward, I would ask them to choose something from a healthy variety.
Nice.
And by that, I can really at the same time tell them this is a reward, this is a good thing.
Right.
So by that, I can really emphasize on the good choices that they are doing, as well as the good and healthy choices.
Right.
So giving a reward. Getting back also for comparison, I know my kids, when they were young, my kids are thankfully are grown up now. I don't do anything for them, and that's the stress-free I have zone. But yeah, I hope soon enough you will feel them going up. But the thing is, like, they get to a certain age, Miss Ayad, and I know that they don't want to have the lunch box because they want to buy it from school like their colleagues, and that's the conflict. I want them to eat healthy. At the same time, they don't want to take and they don't want to be different.
That's
from
peer
other
pressure.
Yes,
that's
this is the pressure.
Yes.
Well, it's such a challenge for mothers because I
Right.
mean, you teach them something at home, and then they come to school, they see the other kids eating those. So what you can do, you know, sometimes they have 2 breaks. At the first break, finish your lunchbox, and then at the second one, just take 1 snack, not more than that. I mean, the break is very short, the second one, so 1 snack is enough.
Yeah, so they wouldn't have time to stand on that line too much. I remember we didn't have time to stand on that line.
No, we didn't. No. And speaking of, adjusting, going back to school, I know for a fact that I see my nieces and nephews, I see other people's kids.
Yes.
They were so used to, for example, playing video games, right? And then suddenly school comes. How do you prepare children to, not stop video games, but, just decrease their time or their screen time even on the iPads or so what, and prepare more for school, more for homework? What do you think?
Well, for me, I just do it, since they were, very young. I tell them, okay, just 1 hour screen time.
Okay.
Just do whatever you like. You can play video games, you can watch your favorite show. It's only...
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So when school comes, there's nothing going to change.
Right.
1 hour in front of the screen. That's it.
So that's less of a headache.
This is a great plan, really.
Yes.
Well,
please tell me about your strategy.
I don't charge their things for fully. I make it 20%
That's
to
nice.
25%.
That's
So whenever
amazing.
they finishes, it's done. I will not charge it
That's
so much.
brilliant.
That's nice,
Wow.
And this is headache.
It is less headache, right?
is.
Yes.
It doesn't have any charge in it. You cannot play with it.
Wow.
And also with the net, because I also discharge the
Yes,
roaming.
exactly. This is what I do. Yeah.
Okay,
this is
so
same
the
thing.
router itself?
Yes,
Okay.
I decharge it, so no charge in it. So they will not have an accessible net. So it's the same thing.
That's amazing.
And-
That's brilliant.
And as you said, it's not just the video games; it's the routine. They are getting back to routine.
Yes.
And
so
I
they have
think-
to sleep at an early time.
Yes.
They have to.
I cannot stress how important that is. I
Yes.
mean, kids, they have to have the good amount of sleep, at least 8 hours,
Right.
because that will help them later to perform better in school.
Right.
And I mean, you cannot tell your kids, okay, sleep at 8, and then you have all the lights on, you're watching TV, there's so much noise.
Yes, exactly.
They
We
will not
want a
sleep.
strategy for that thing. Miss
They will
Ayad.
not sleep. So what I do is that, half an hour before bedtime, I just turn up the lights and have a cozy environment. We can have a bedtime story, and then that's it. Everything is quiet. No more noise. No more running after them or anything. They know that now it's bedtime. When the lights are off, it's bedtime.
Right. So is it always practical? And I want to be honest here.
Yes.
Not that I'm, saying that this is not realistic. This is realistic, and you can plan it and you can actually do it. But is it very realistic when it comes to the modern age where a lot of people visit us. A lot of people, go out and they buy, they go shopping. And then some shops close at 10 o'clock, right? So how do you implement this strategy to, let's say, it's like I'm talking about war, right?
It is. It
So
is.
how
It
do you
is.
implement
It is.
How
It's
do
a war
you
zone.
manage the, or maneuver through the timings of the other plans?
Well, if they want to go out, we can do that in the weekend. What I do for my kids, during the weekdays, they don't take a nap, so they can sleep early.
Right.
But in the weekends, we're going out, movies, visiting anyone. So I let them take a nap for 1 hour so they can sleep, past their bedtime. So it's okay. They don't have to go every day out.
Right.
Yeah, so they can stay at home, have fun at home. They can go out in the afternoon, for 1 hour or two, and then come back before bedtime.
Right. What about the mother or the
Yeah.
father? Like if you have, for example, a show in the evening, right? Because
Yes.
our timings are very flexible.
Exactly.
So how do you manage first Amal and then Ayat? Like how do you manage that?
Well, as I said, my children now has grown up, so I'm having a happy life, a stressful, not a life. There is no
I'm leaving.
stress. Yeah,
She is
I'm emphasizing that my children are grown up. But you know something, I do sleep early.
Okay.
This is me.
This is
I do
wonderful.
sleep. I sleep early. I try to finish most of my, let's say, chores in the morning. That's why I have a 6 weeks plan ahead. Because
That's why you have very good skin.
yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Ella. But because this is because I sleep early because I wake up around 5 o'clock with dawn. So
Yeah.
I wake up early to have the shows. And yes, the flex. If I had an evening show, then I would know beforehand. I
Right.
always say, give me the schedule beforehand.
Right.
I don't. I try my best not to disturb my schedule, and I think this works for me, but not for everyone. I
Right,
don't know about
yeah.
Miss Ayat.
Well, I kind of do the same because I use because I'm a teacher. So
Yes.
what I do is I prepare for the lessons. I try to do it at school
Okay.
during work hours.
Yeah.
If I have a break or something, I try to finish my work there. So when I go back home, I can sit with my kids. If they have homework, I can help them with it, cook or do all my chores. And then if I have an outing with my friends or something, I will
Right.
plan it after my kids' bedtime. When they are
Okay.
asleep, I'll go out for 1 hour and then I'll come back by 9.
Right.
And then I also sleep early because I also have to wake up in the
Yes,
morning. Yeah,
teachers.
5
Right,
a.m.
right,
club.
Of course,
Yes,
of course,
exactly.
of course, yes. And speaking of the routine, what's your favorite routine when going back to school? What's your favorite activity, or how do you plan it and say, okay, this is what's going to work? And how did you come up with that?
During school times, that
Yes,
is.
yes, for the
during
school timing,
times.
now that we're done with summer and we're back to,
Mm-hmm.
and then you prepare for the tests, for the exams and all of that. What's your favorite
Fatma
routine?
is stressing us before that everything that
I'm
comes.
having
You
so
have
much
to-
fun.
Just
Yeah,
the
this
beginning
is
of
good.
the
We can
academic
tell
year
about
and
that.
you're just running to exams. All right. Well, what I like is that it's very systematic when you go back to school.
Okay.
Like we have school time until 2 o'clock, and then after that, the kids and also the working moms or any working person, they have to take a break from the work and to go to do something else. For example, going to the gym. This is what I really like to do because you have to, disconnect from work and stress and so going to the gym and then after that, meet my kids, have their homework, their dinner, everything is ready. We have little pets so they can play with their pets. And
That's
then after
nice.
that, and then after that, they go back to sleep or, just read a bedtime story and talking about their day. So yeah, that's just very systematic.
It is, and
this is a
especially
good
family
plan.
time,
Yeah,
right?
this is-
Children need family time,
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
need their parents to be present, and they need, they need authority at
Yes,
home.
indeed. And I
Yes.
can relate to that because, if we came to the 3 generations that we live in, our grandfather's generation and our generation and our children's generation, I think those generations have so many routines and so many plans and schedules during
So
those
many rules.
years. So many rules.
Right, yeah.
But I think the rules would be in another timing to discuss. We've got a lot, and I know Miss Ayat has a lot with us, especially about those pet things. We need a whole episode
Yes,
about
yes,
pets.
please. A special segment.
I've got 2 wonderful cats. One's called Ceviche, and I love Ceviche.
Wow.
And that's why
I love the name.
Yeah. So I think another episode would be a great. With you, Ayat.
Of course, we can talk about
yes,
that.
we
Thank
can
you
talk
very
about
much,
that. Thank you
Ayat.
very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for
Thank you
being
so much
here.
for
Yes,
having me.
yes, we
Thank
had
you.
so much fun.
Yeah, we had. So I hope that you had as much fun and got a little bit of info with us, dear viewers. So now how about we have a quick break, then continue She Talks.
Welcome back, dear viewers, and we are still here in this episode of our show, She is Talking. Now, Amal, we're talking about happiness, and I don't want to set the mood in a different way, but let's talk a little bit about studying. Now, what do you see studying as in these days that we're going back to school?
Well, it wouldn't be so much away from happiness, Fatma, because whenever you achieve a goal of your goals, that's the road to happiness.
Perfect. Yes, I agree with you.
Yes,
I agree
exactly.
with you. Yes.
So if we want, especially nowadays, our children are getting back to school. They have started for a couple of weeks, but preparation.
Yes.
Before getting back to school, what did they do during that time? How did they prepare those couple of weeks as they tried to get into those schools? This is the thing. This is the best thing. Because, you know, if you have a goal in front of you, where to go, as like in art or science, if you want to, let's say, go to college after high school.
Right.
How do you prepare for that?
How do you prepare for that? And especially if these students want to take some tests like the IELTS and the TOEFL,
Yes.
I always say you have to prepare once the student is in the final year or the year before that.
Okay.
The final 2 years of high school, you need to be preparing yourself or your children for the exams, the entrance exam. You have the aptitude tests, you have the IELTS, you have the TOEFL, and all of those. You cannot just shock them into college life or school life and pray for the best, you know? You have to actually prepare them for that. You take tests, you take courses.
So you take
Courses and
courses,
tests.
yes, exactly. And you know, Fatma, our preparers as well and producers has really got that wonderful rapport how to prepare, and I think those courses had done a marvel to the students and the next generation. How about we check it out together?
Let's go.
Hello everybody, this is Al-Khalifi. I am head of Level Up group. I'm instructor in movement education, which is called Brengin, one of the kinesiology education learning. This course is considered the first of its kind in the Middle East. Because it relates the mental exercises skills that is distinguished by the science of educational, which is called kinesiology. To understand and learn all about the regulation for the public high school in Kuwait, and in addition of the best skills and method for daily study, like thinking, remember, memory, and handling with the stress, general health skills to improve brain work. So to achieve all that, to achieve and success the final exams and get the highest score. In the public school, 10th grade is the first step for the future career. So the student, they will see a lot of subjects that they help them to choose between science major and the arts major. My advice for the student to have the best score in this 3 years, coming 3 years in the high school, that they must study very hard. Daily study. Use the method that I will give them today in this time, and have a good sleep and have like a long period of sleep and rest, so that their mind will be fresh and ready to accept any information or any subject in like something tough or something. And also I will advise them to eat very healthy food, and they will be more social in this life.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Now, we have had so much fun in this episode. I loved every minute of it, and thank you very much, Amal, for enriching us with these pieces of information.
Thank you, Fatma, for being here, and for also the viewers that joined us in She's Talking. And I know that we had a little bit, a glimpse of happiness an aroma of coffee, as well some of the tips that we really loved. Also, I know that we've got yet more to discuss.
Yes.
Ladies, let's be honest, we love to have a lot of subjects, having fun, having a great smile, having a great mind as well, having that wonderful planning project in front of us, Fatma.
Yes, of course.
I think this is the best thing that would make a great happiness road achieved. So I think our episode today had it all in it. And as we, Fatma, thank you, the crew. We thank the crew who really prepared this episode and had made it come together for us all. We also thank you, viewers, for joining us in a wonderful She's Talking episode. And we hope that you join us in other episodes soon enough.